Dearest, as we draw closer to Karnstein, the General tells us how much his ward had been looking forward to meeting me. His bow to me is gallant, but melancholy. An invitation from an old friend, the Count Karlsfeld, took them to a schloss about 6 leagues the other side of Karnstein, a series of fêtes in honour of his illustrious visitor, the Grand Duke Charles. Splendid, princely. The grounds were thrown open, the trees hung with coloured lamps, a display of fireworks worthy of Paris itself. Ravishing music. The finest singers from all the great operas in Europe, sometimes emerging from groves, sometimes rising from boats upon the lake. The fireworks ended. The masked ball was beginning, a brilliant spectacle and a very aristocratic assembly. Bertha, he says, was looking quite beautiful and wore no mask. I wish, Carmilla, how I wish I could have met her. Perhaps we all 3 could have been friends. He noticed a young lady dressed magnificently, but wearing a mask, who appeared to be observing his ward with extraordinary interest. 3 different times, 3 different places, he noticed her employed this way. With her, also masked, richly and gravely dressed, and with a stately air like a person of rank, a chaperon. Bertha had been dancing and was resting in a chair near the door of the salon. The young woman took the chair next to his ward, while her companion stood beside him, called him by name, spoke to him as if to an old friend, teased him, naming places and events where they had met before. He could remember nothing. She appeared to take pleasure in foiling his curiosity, seeing him flounder. Meanwhile the young woman, her mother called her Milaka. A strange name, no? Milaka got into conversation with Bertha. She told her that her mother was a very old acquaintance of the General. She talked like a friend. She admired her dress and her beauty. She amused her with laughing criticisms upon the people who crowded the ballroom. She was witty and lively. After a time they grew very good friends, and when the young stranger lowered her mask, she displayed a remarkably beautiful face. The features were so engaging as well as lovely that it was impossible not to feel the attraction powerfully. "My poor girl did so," says the General. "I never saw anyone more taken with another at first sight, unless indeed it was the stranger herself, who seemed quite to have lost her heart to her." He tried and failed to persuade the older lady to remove her mask. He could learn nothing from her. She was all evasion. At last a gentleman approached, dressed in black, elegant and distinguished, except for his face, which was as pale as death. He bowed and asked permission to say a few words in private to Madame la Comtesse. She slipped away with him. The General thought then to take advantage of her absence to draw from the daughter the identity of the mystery woman, but she returned before he could put his plan into effect. The pale gentleman who escorted her said only, "I shall return and inform Madame la Comtesse when her carriage is at the door," and he withdrew with a bow.